Get started. I'd like to call the Wednesday, May 21st, 2025 Hanover Borough Finance and Personnel Committee meeting to order. First thing we're going to do, Mr. Ricart, before public comment. First of all, let me make an announcement too. Everybody, please remember you have to turn your microphone on to be heard. So if it's on, we're going to hear you. Okay?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Before we begin public comment, I would first like to move that we table Agenda Item 10-01, the 44 Frederick Street Public Safety Facility Project bid opening.
I'll second that motion.
Okay? We've got a motion on the floor in a second. Is there any discussion?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Rowland. We have a second, though. Any discussion?
No, sir.
Okay? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we will move on to 2.01, which is public comment. Mr. Riston?
Hello. The one comment I have on is for Section 7.02 Stop and Go Legislative Task Force. It's on the recommended letter of support for Representative Kate Klunk's initiative regarding Section 218 of Act 49 of 2023. The main question I have is just what is being proposed specifically. What is Kate Klunk's initiative regarding that section of that act? If you are unaware, that section of that act deals with only first-class cities. The entire Stop and Go task force was on first-class cities. They heard comments and testimony from first-class cities. Our representatives were from Philadelphia and Bucks County area. So again, their report was, and recommendations was for gas stations in first-class cities. Again, that's only Philadelphia. We only have one in Pennsylvania. So again, saying what is Kate Klunk going to do? They're going to pass something new, a new task force being initiated throughout the state, anything like that. Again, just want to hear comments. That is all probably well and good, probably what the intention is, but I think having that discussion so people know, because when I read that, I was like, well, that doesn't make too much sense if you read the report and what its focus and original passing was for. So that's all. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Mr. Riston. Community media, do we have anyone online? Thank you. Okay. We have no presentations. Interviews. What's that? It's not on here, but would you like to make that comment, please?
So council tonight had an executive session from 6:30 to 6:54 to discuss personnel evaluation, to consult with the solicitor on the status of the Rebecca Rios versus Borough of Hanover matter, and to review other privilege matters under Section 708A 1, 4, and 5 of the Sunshine Act.
Okay, thank you, Solicitor. Number 5, we'll move on to interviews for the Shade Tree Commission. And Amy, are you going to help me with escorting one out? We'll start with Debbie Seibert. Yes, ma'am. Please step up to the mic.
Good evening.
You can pull it down if you need to a little bit there.
Thank you.
All right, Debbie, basically, we're going to ask you a few questions from a few different council members here, and do the best you can to answer, and we'll go through them.
Sure.
Okay.
Hi, Debbie. I have the first question.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thanks for coming. Are you available on the first Monday of each month at 9 o'clock in the morning, which is when they have their meetings?
Yes.
Thank you. That's the end of my question.
Okay.
Boy, that was a simple
was
one.
quick.
So yes or no?
Thank you. Dr.
I have
Rupp?
question 2. What is your understanding of the role of the Shade Tree Commission? Why are you interested in serving on the Shade Tree Commission?
That's a twofold question. In my neighborhood, there are a ton of trees being cut down. That is kind of disheartening to me. And I was just hoping that maybe if I could add my 2 cents to, that we would make sure that at least Hanover is keeping enough trees in order to save our community.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, Debbie. I've
Hi.
got a question for you. Tell us about an experience you've had collaborating and/or working with a group
With the group?
in general, yeah.
Okay. Well, I own South Hanover bowling lanes, so I deal with the public and groups on a daily basis. I'm also the coordinator for Roots Harvest, which is the backpack program here in Hanover. We provide food for the Hanover Elementary School students. It is my responsibility to make sure that I have the numbers from the schools, make sure we have the food, make sure we have the people to pack the bags, make sure that they're delivered, and then just making sure that the program is running smoothly. It's also I am the liaison with the Hanover Council of Churches.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, now, if we could go to question 3, please, Mr. Lookenbill.
Can you just describe your ability and/or experiences rendering a decision where you disagreed with a rule, regulation, or had strong support from others, asking you to disregard the rules and vote with the crowd majority?
I pride myself in being not a yes woman. I stand on my own 2 feet. If I don't agree with you, I'm going to at least tell you my opinion, and then we can have a conversation about it. But just because, say, you are you being on the council, I don't have to agree with you.
Fair enough, thank you.
Arlene, please.
Yes.
What else would you like us to know that would make you a strong candidate for the Shade Tree Commission?
Well, I have lived in the borough for almost 25 years. My husband is a longtime Hanoverian. He's very proud of that. When I take on a role, I'm very committed to that role, and I'm very dedicated to that role.
Okay, thank you. How do we get a hold of Amy?
I have
Calling her out
one
there.
question, though. Do you have any horticultural background or anything, experience with knowing much about trees and,
Other than having my own trees in my yard and my own garden, no.
okay.
Brian, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, you circled and underlined it.
He's an artist. Nobody knows you count.
I
Okay,
follow
Mr. Warner.
directions. Look at
We're going to
that.
ask you a few questions. Do the best you can with answering them. Dr. Rupp, if you would start, please.
I have a really hard question. It's the first one. Are you available on the first Monday of each month at 9 o'clock in the morning for meetings?
Sure.
Thank you, that's my question.
I have number 2. What is your understanding of the role of the Shade Tree Commission? Why are you interested in serving on the Shade Tree Commission?
Understanding the Shade Tree Commission committee is to deal with any customer or resident complaints or issues with the shade trees that are between the curbside and in the tree lawn, between the curb and sidewalk. Maybe deal with budgetary issues, try to create budgets, figure out how the money's going to be spent. Yeah, that's about it.
Why are you interested?
I'm interested because I'm looking for some type of volunteer work, and I figured that this would be something great to do. That would be kind of a way to give back to the borough. I was born and raised here and 54 years old, and spent my whole life here. And it's nice to see that the people are constantly trying to make improvements in the downtown and in the borough neighborhoods. So just thought it'd be a nice way to give back.
Mr. Lookenbill?
All right, can you describe your ability and/or experiences rendering a decision where you disagreed with a rule, regulation, or had strong support from others, asking you to disregard the rules or vote with the crowd majority?
Oh, wow. Can you repeat that?
Oh, jeez. Describe your ability and/or experiences rendering a decision where you disagreed with a rule, regulation, or had strong support from others, asking you to disregard the rules and
Yeah.
vote for the crowd majority.
That could be anything throughout the day, every day of my career. General manager for a natural gas contractor, that is from Indianapolis. We cover the whole United States. I manage all of Pennsylvania and Maryland and have 4 different utility customers here in the state of Pennsylvania and Maryland. And any given day, I have 100 to 110 crews out on the ground, and we're dealing with customer complaints, utility customers. There's meetings I'm involved with every day that are processes that are being implemented. Not any one in particular that I can think of, but there are so many that come at me throughout the day that I can't right now think of one individual, but it could be something simple like dealing with a simple customer complaint that comes in to one of my leaders and we deal with, but nothing in particular.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Tell us about an experience you've had collaborating and/or working with a group. Kind of similar.
Again, that's, daily with the team that I have for Pennsylvania, Maryland. We collaborate on new processes, maybe communicating new federal regulations, state regulations surrounding the work that we do, and implementing those regulations.
Thank you, sir. Just one more question. How about an outside group? Have you worked with any other outside groups that you can think of off the top of your head?
Such as government agencies, the Public Utility Commission could be one. Yeah, they have a damage prevention committee that we work with closely. Sometimes we have to stand before them. If we had a damage ourselves, we may have to defend ourselves with that 13-panel committee. And sometimes that goes back and forth a little bit.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Tom, good evening.
Good evening.
What else would you like us to know about you that would make you a strong candidate for the position that you would like as Shade Tree Commission, on the Shade Tree Commission?
Sure. Again, I was born and raised here, been in Hanover, Pennsylvania for 54 years, and just looking for a way to give back. I have 2 daughters that went to Hanover, born and raised here. One of them lives in Manhattan right now. She's a physician assistant at Mount Sinai Hospital. The other one is she's a director of a nonprofit organization in Elkton, Maryland, that is deals with inmates that are being released into society, back into society after serving their term. I think I've done a pretty good job of raising 2 young individuals. A few of you folks know who they are and probably could attest to that, Mr. Ricart. But yeah, just looking for a way to give back, that's all.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
thank
That's
you.
all.
Before we move to the next part of this, I'd just like to say thank you both for showing interest in the community. That means a lot to us up here because we're always looking to get more people involved. So thank
Sure.
you. Okay, that being said, do we have any recommendations for the Shade Tree Committee?
I'd like to make a motion for Tom Warner to fulfill the position.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Keep the motions open, correct?
Right, so if there's another motion to nominate Ms. Seifert.
Do we have any other motions for the Shade Tree Committee?
I just motion for Debbie Seifert.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay. Now, we're going to go in order of how the motions were done. And remember, you can vote twice for each one. But if we get a majority for the first one, then we take the first one. Okay, so on Mr. Warner. All those in favor of Mr. Warner, signify by saying aye. Or you
Aye.
might need to raise your hands.
Yeah, this is.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yep. Okay, Mr. Warner, congratulations. But once again, I'd like to say we appreciate both of you coming in for this Shade Tree Committee. Now, do I have to do this 5.82? Or recommend that?
I'll make the motion. The motion, I recommend the following appointment of Tom Werner to the Shade Tree Commission for council approval, which we're about to do, to fulfill the unexpired term July 1, 2025 to December 31st, 2027.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion, opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Tom.
And also, thank you, Debbie, so much for applying for that position. And there'll be other positions coming forward in the months to come. So please stay on top of it. We'd love to see you again. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to 6, which is the consent agenda. Be looking for a motion for the consent agenda.
Make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion? Looking to my left. Looking to my right. Any discussion? Okay, no discussion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to Governance and Policy Committee. 701. Amy, do you need to speak to this at all, or pretty cut and dry? Okay. Employee Ethics Policy. I'll be looking for a motion, please.
Make a motion for that?
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The little 7.02 Stop and Go Legislation Task Force, recommending a letter of support for Representative Kate Klunk to initiate regarding Sections 218 of Act 49 of 2023.
I think when we discussed that at our meeting, we really didn't know it only applied to first-class cities. We read the recommendation of the task force, and we were very supportive of that. So maybe we need to go back and do some more work on that and bring it back again.
I agree. So do you want to table this, Dr. Rupp?
Make a motion to table that. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll second her motion.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll withdraw my motion.
Thank you, Scott. Okay. All those in favor of tabling 7.02 till we get some further discussion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
When's
Thank
the
you.
next governance committee meeting, Barb? You know, here.
A month after this.
July.
It should be July.
Thank you.
When is it, Barb?
I
It's in
think
July.
July, okay.
Okay, moving on to 8, which is Planning Commission. 8.01 Centennial Court Plan Approval. Approve resolution to approve the preliminary final subdivision and land development plan for the consolidation of lots and construction of 8 garden apartments, units with site improvement.
So motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 9, Department of Water Resources. 9.01, PA Department of Environmental Protection, approve water supply permit renewal. Option 2, long-term biological monitoring study.
So motion.
Seconded.
Pretty cut and dry. Any discussion? Believe it's raining. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, down to 10.02, approval of the amendment to salary resolution, A, which is library, wastewater, and facilities positions, was laid out in our packet, pretty cut and dry also.
Make a motion to approve.
Scott Rowland second. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. We have no reports, right? See, I look for this when you're doing that. So there is nothing there. Okay. No reports, no management reports. Correspondent information was in our packet. Moving on to additional public comment. You have the floor.
Can you tell me when the Library Board of Governors is due to present their agreement with York County?
Do we know that answer?
We do, no.
I don't know if they're even close to that.
So not even close.
I don't believe so.
All right. Well, that takes care of that. Moving on to Parks and Recreation. Please check the manuals for installing fences in parks, playgrounds, and ball fields. You recently stretched the fences at Good, Elm, and DeGuy. I took photos documenting the pointed protrusions and the sharp edges of those new installations. This past week, oh, and by the way, Margie and Matt both evidently were called because I had taken photos of those fences. And I was assured that a work order was going to be going in, and all that it was needed would be a pair of pliers. I did some research after that and found that there is several manuals out there recommending to people like yourselves who are responsible for installing those fences what method is suggested and required. This past weekend, I was out at Goodfield for a baseball tournament, and two plays come to mind right offhand. There was a foul ball up against the fence, and you're taught to put your hand out like this in order to gauge the distance you have to the fence. The young man refused to play that ball, and when he came back into the dugout, the coach said, "Why did you not play that ball?" He said, "This is how you do it." He said, "I'm aware of how you play that ball. I'm not going to do it with this fence." Then there's another play on the other side of the field where he did not go up against the fence. He slid and got his foot caught under the bottom row of the galvanized aluminum attachments. So I would think it would behoove the council to revisit those fences and make sure that those sharp edges and those protrusions are not there. Thank you.
Thank you. Community media, can you help me with all mine? Okay, thank you. I have an announcement here to read. Continuation of the conditional use public hearing for proposed hotel use at 319 Wilson Avenue is scheduled for Wednesday, June 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Everybody copy that? Okay. Thank you. Moving on to number 16.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make the motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you, everyone, for coming.